Oh, I guess we're live. Oh, I can't hear myself. Now I can. What's up, we booking people? Listen, we got a lot to talk about. It is your Sunday episode, and we're live after the intro. What's up? What's up? We booking fam. It's your boy Mike Jones back again with another episode of. Oh, I call myself Mike Jones. Damn it, wrong show. Sorry. What's up, We Book It fam? It's your boy Virgil back with another episode of the We Book It podcast. And listen, I am here. It is a dynamic duo tonight. I got my favorite tag team partner outside of my wife. Actually, he ranks above my wife in tag team partners. That's right. I got the man, the myth, the legend, the freakiest one of all the freaks. That's right. My man, Freaky Fritos. He is the Booker of the Year. What's up, Fritos?
Nothing much, Virgil. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my singles and tag team competitors. I hope you're having a great weekend. I had a really good week. The Freaky Fiance secured the tickets for WWE Backlash of WrestleMania in St. Louis.
That's fair. I can't mute you tonight because it's just me and you. I need somebody.
I feel so good. But, and also my bracket busted the very first hour. So, it is a great weekend. We got a bunch of sports. We got a bunch of wrestling to talk about, but don't worry. We're going to provide some great entertainment for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody that is tuning in, whether you're tuning in on Twitch, whether you're tuning in on Spotify, whether you're tuning in on YouTube. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for everybody that is hanging out with us on this beautiful time. So, Fritos, first and foremost, man, we got to talk about the simple fact that WrestleMania is taking shape. We are less than 3 weeks away from WrestleMania 41. Can you believe it? I mean, it feel like it just flew by. The time is just blowing by. But we are right up on the time period for WrestleMania 41, and the card is starting to take shape. So, as of right now, confirmed matches that we have. We do have the undisputed WWE Championship match, which, hold on, let me get her in the shot for my baby.
The camera doesn't respect it.
oh no, the camera loves it.
You can barely see the name's covering it too.
That's hilarious. Oh, tragedy. Well, anyways, the WWE Undisputed Championship. We have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship match that is set. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Then we also have the WWE Women's World Championship match set. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus probably Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match. And then we have Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. And then we have Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And then we also have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens confirmed. Matches that have yet to be confirmed but are probably going to happen. Jade Cargill versus Naomi one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Also, you're looking at potentially having some type of God, what was the other match that I was thinking about? I can't think of it right now.
They mentioned the United States Championship.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have something for the United States Championship, maybe a triple threat, and definitely probably a 6-man Intercontinental Championship match. That's probably what we're looking at right now. Those matches are being proposed. And then there's going to be something for the tag team titles, the world tag team titles, and probably the WWE tag team titles also. So, yeah, man, the card is taking shape. What do you think of the card so far? What are you thinking? How you feeling about WrestleMania compared to 5 weeks ago when we were on this very podcast channel talking about the fact that it just didn't feel like Mania was Mania this year?
5 weeks ago, like I said, it didn't feel like Mania season. But Triple H, I know you're listening to the pod. You heard me. You heard the Booker of the Year. You got a little afraid. I understand. So you amped that bitch up. You got things rocking and rolling. You've got rivalries building up. You've got heated battles coming up. Also, another one that might be evolved to Solo versus Jacob Fatu due to the events of last Friday night. That could be a potential. If not, that might be saved for Backlash, which, if that's going to be happening, I've got decent tickets, ladies and gentlemen. May I say, I'm in major debt. If you need me to clean your gutters, do some dirty things,
Fritos for hire.
I'll do it.
There you go.
But anyways, yeah, this, I'm not going to say it's better than last year at 40, but this is shaping up to be a great WrestleMania. I think it might be just recent bias with 40, but to me, 40 is perfect, especially the way how night 1 and night 2 just rolled into perfectly too.
Sure.
Since we don't really have a storyline, almost like with Cody finishing the story where it's a 2-nighter, we're definitely going to have 2 different main events also going on, which I'm kind of excited because it was also the same thing for 39. You basically had 2 storylines the same time for both nights with the tag team titles going into Cody's story. But yeah, the fact they're kind of it's almost separate and you got individual stories that everyone's focused on instead of one major one. I'm really looking forward to this WrestleMania a lot.
Yeah, me too. I would say right now what's got me pumped the most out of anything, I'm loving how the women are making their matches count more by continuing their feuds online throughout the week. So like obviously the WWE is on a tour right now over in Europe. So a lot of these women are up like when we're up, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, but they're also wrestling in the morning when it's nighttime. They're wrestling when it's morning there and it's nighttime, or it's nighttime there and it's morning here. So they're continuing these feuds. They've been using X. Like I said, we had the back and forth between Jade and Naomi, and then Bianca got involved in that one. Obviously, Liv Morgan is steady stirring the pot. And it's just been a very viral week for WWE. They even got Io Sky to talk a little trash as well. I'm just very, very, very so much so enjoying what's happening right now within WWE, and Triple H kind of screwed Io Sky over, if I'm being honest with you, because she's definitely just a transitional champion. She's definitely gonna drop that belt to Bianca, and they wanted to keep Bianca and Rhea Ripley apart. So like I said, so the Bianca will probably pin Io and win the championship, and she'll probably cheat to do it. Is what I'm thinking. But like I said, I'm so invested in these women's stories just because of being able to watch them online and stuff like that play a part too. It's really good, really fresh.
All right, so question for you. With post-Mania, let's just say titles do change. Where do you see the landscape for the wrestlers? Because technically right now, if let's say John Cena wins your title and Jay wins the title, you can't have 2 main event titles on the show. Do you think Jay jumps over to SmackDown? Or does John jump over?
There's plans for a draft to happen. The draft is expected to happen. I don't know if it's expected to happen before Backlash or after Backlash. I haven't heard a date of that yet. But if I know Triple H, I'm sure he has everything sorted out. But John Cena is a floater. Cody Rhodes is a floater. When you're WWE champion, you can go wherever you want to go. Like I said, Jay Uso, I mean, he'll probably be primarily on Monday Night Raw if I had to take my guess. But like I said, he can also float. It just kind of depends, you know.
Because I also like if let's say Bianca does win, she would have to move over to Monday Night Raw. What's that mean for the Street Profits? Because they always try to keep people who are married together in the same show, so that way it's easier for traveling, family time, the kids, and all that. So does that mean we're getting the War Raiders on Friday and switching all that? Which I know that we'll figure that out. It's just an idea that just popped in my head, just thinking if they do these title changes, what's the landscape going to look like past Mania?
Right. And that's definitely something to think about. Because it's one of those things where like we are trying to figure out exactly what WWE is going to look like post Mania. But I know post Mania WWE is going to be crazy, especially that Mania after. I mean that Raw after Mania. I cannot wait. I definitely will be live with Coach on that Raw after Mania review because I cannot wait to see what happens with that.
Same. I'll be there too.
Yep.
Don't worry. I'll bring the hot
But
dogs.
oh, good job. I love the hot dogs. Make sure they're extra beefy.
Mm.
All right. All right, folks. We got you for who to watch for coming up. Did it play on your end?
Yep. We're in. We're good.
God, nothing showed on my end. This is crazy. Anyways, I am handling who to watch for in wrestling this week. And listen up, guys. I got a doozy for you. The group that I believe, the people I believe you need to watch for is actually a group of people. And that's right. It's Dark State. Dark State is the name of the new group on NXT that have been causing absolute mayhem. We have not found someone to do an NXT review yet, but we will shortly be looking to add a Tuesday night NXT review just because there's so much going on NXT, and we have to start covering and watching the future stars, especially with LFG funneling in, LFG and Evolve funneling in so much talent into the NXT pool that will soon one day be the stars of tomorrow. So what I would tell you guys is if you're going to be watching NXT, make sure you tune in here for our NXT reviews. I'll make an official announcement when we start covering NXT. However, Dark State is a group that literally started up here just recently, and they are he has to wait until after I get to my segment.
Time out. I'm going to add him since it's leading to the next segment since he showed up.
I actually wanted to make him wait since he came on late, but
that's fair. I was trying to be nice.
Anyway,
man, look, man. I traveled today. I had to travel back from Detroit today. Okay, give me a break.
I don't feel bad for you. I don't.
I do. It's Detroit. It's a trash heap.
It was a choice that you made. You made a choice, brother.
I was there on business.
Now, anyways, back to what I was saying. All right, so Dark State. Dark State is a group that you need to watch out for. There are 4 members of Dark State. There's Dion Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin. These 4 gentlemen right now, these 4 gentlemen are causing absolute chaos on NXT television. This past week, Trick Williams called out Obafemi, and they were about to do an NXT Underground match, and literally it was called off because Dark State came out and caused absolute havoc. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with these guys. But I also have an idea. I believe Trick Williams is the leader of Dark State. I believe that this is his group that he's called, and they're going to help him regain his NXT championship. That way you keep Obafemi strong, and that way you also allow Trick Williams to see if he can be a heel, a believable heel. We already know he's over as a babyface. Like I said, to whoop that trick, everybody loves it. Booker T, everything. I can't wait to see Booker's reaction when Trick Williams makes a business decision and decides to go heel and beat up Obafemi and beat up Mr. Evans, and then he takes back the NXT championship with the help of Dark State, and they stand side by side with him. So that's who to watch for in wrestling. Until next time, y'all.
Way to cover, Coach. That was a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, Coach's segment is a lot more easier than yours. I just want to say, Fritos, there's so much pressure with doing Fritos Fave 5. Like, I don't know how you do it every week. Like, I'll be so scared I'm going to mess something up.
You know what I deal with. It's why I'm addicted to Zins. It's why I drink.
I believe it. I believe it.
The pressure from this podcast is getting to me, ladies and gentlemen. But don't worry.
Listen,
I will never leave it. I'll do it for you. I do it for the guest and the fans.
Do it for the people. So, What's up, C man? What's going on with you, brother? Everybody, welcome into the show, Big Daddy C.
Glad to be back home. It was a nice little break from Springfield, but it's nothing like being in the comforts of your own apartment. So yeah, I'm back. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be back in time, but yeah, I'm good now. Took a little nap, and I'm good to go. No baddie of the no baddie of the week this week because I wasn't sure if I was gonna be back in time to record. So I'll be back. It'll be back next week.
Actually, there is a baddie of the week.
I mean, if you want to take over, go ahead. Hey, take over. All right, cool. Go ahead.
Listen, you already know. Should I do it right now? Should I do it too? Can I do it one time, fellas? Hit me with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of the week for this week. It has nothing to do with her looks. It has nothing to do with her BBL. It has nothing to do with any of that. You know what it has to do with? It has to do with the fact that she finally got her comeuppance this Friday night. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Naomi Fatu. I tweeted at Trinity Fatu this week from the Cubs page, and I told that woman, listen, I am proud of you, woman. You went and got your comeuppance. Jay did all that talking, all that woofing, and all that attacking and stuff like that. But you finally got your comeuppance. Not only did you cost her match, but then you turned around at the same time and then you got your comeuppance by beating her ass on national television, then doing her pose. Not to mention you paid tribute to the Black Heart, Owen Hart, by showing up with your caution tape suit on. I am so proud of you. You are this week's baddie of the week, and it's not just because you're beautiful. It's also because you're a damn good wrestler, and you got one of the best stories going in television right now. Proud of you, girl. Worked your way back up from NXT, TNA, everything, and you will be a future world champion. I do think she will win the Women's Money in the Bank this year. That's just that, and that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Your baddie of the week, Naomi. That's right. When I do baddie of the week, I add a little bit of class to it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of flavor.
It's not what the damn topic was created. That's not what the segment was created for, Mike. Baddie of the week. Baddie of the week is primarily about the looks. All right. There's a reason why you got
a baddie of the week. You should have had a baddie of the week.
That's why a majority you made the damn graphic art, all of them in bikinis. Damn near.
They can be bad while they wrestling.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, I'm gonna be back next week. It's gonna be back to normal.
Okay, all right, brother. Listen. Listen. I'm repping the baddest of them all, brother. I'm repping the baddest of them all. That's right, brother.
I love Rhea, but she ain't the baddest of them all.
You bad.
It's Jada. It's Jada.
Bad in the ring, bad out of the ring. Don't give me that Jada crap. Her little punk butt gonna go ask for an NXT Women's Championship match. Who ask anymore in the Triple H and Shawn Michaels era? If you ain't attacking her in the parking lot and beating her down like a dirty dog, what are you really doing? You're too nice, Jada. You should never be the baddie of the week.
The last thing she is nice, man. Like hitting people in the face with bricks ain't nice. Okay.
She lost her edge. She ain't got it no more. The BBL's going to her head.
Bro, man, you're gonna make me leave this goddamn podcast. Stop. Do not disrespect her like that. All right. I did not come back here to be. I did not come back to watch my woman be disrespected. All right.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Have some decorum. Have some decorum, Mike.
If she don't get her ish together, she's gonna be disrespected by every woman in the locker room. She don't have to worry about me disrespecting her. Get it together, Jada. This ain't about looks. In a popularity contest.
On to the next topic.
I want to listen. C just wants you for your looks. I want you to flourish. I want you to fly. I want you to be NXT Women's Champion. And then I want you to go on to be Intercontinental Champion. And I want you to go on to be WWE champion. But Jordan Grace probably gonna step in front of you and beat you in the ring and probably injure you.
Ultimate Warrior.
Because Jordan Grace is a badass.
Ultimate Warrior 2.0.
You're hilarious. She is the Ultimate Warrior though.
Jesus. Well,
All right, so
future guest.
Guys,
So what? So what?
He said, well, we lost one future guest. There we go.
I don't know why this
Sure
camera
she-
keeps trying to
I'm sure she'll accept a compliment, you know.
from my baby. And now my camera is gone. What in the world?
This is a high quality.
See, that's what you
podcast.
get. That's what you get for being disrespectful.
I'm gonna kick it over to Fritos while I try to figure out my camera. Fritos, the decrease in domestic house shows while more international house shows are being added. What do you believe the reason is for this? You brought this topic up in the group chat. Go ahead and share what your thoughts are on this as I fix my camera.
I did. So, like I stated earlier, I got my tickets for Backlash in St. Louis. I was looking around, seeing, just what's the other shows nearby. Maybe I could get a cheap show if they had one here in Springfield, Illinois, or maybe one in Peoria, Bloomington, somewhere there to, enjoy the show. Because most of the time, like last year, they would have a Road to WrestleMania, SummerSlam Heat Tour, something to, get the fans going in the smaller towns. But they're not doing that this year. TKO, it has cut down on house shows domestically, dramatically. It's everything I've seen so far on Ticketmaster, Game Time, any of the places you buy tickets. There's no funky name small towns, Illinois or Oklahoma, Nevada, California. No, it's all the big time cities. Then I looked on Facebook. Then I saw that they have a bunch of house shows going on over in Europe, which, yes, I get that they're going to be in Europe for a month and a half. So you might as well rack up some extra cash, especially since the European crowd, they get rowdy, they fill them up. I do believe, like me and Virgil were talking about, they don't have a surplus of cash for the house shows. So I think that's it. They're not making enough profit from them, essentially. As he was stating earlier in our conversation, that the nosebleeds of 300 sections, bare bones. Maybe a few high school kids that bought them last second to heckle the wrestlers, but basically bare bones. I know one of the key things, too, they're doing it is wrestler health. Helps them prevent, being on the road for a long time, for longer durations, gives them more home time, lets them heal up. But it kind of hurts us fans, too, a bit. I mean, you can still do a house show. I feel like, 6 months, no house shows. But for at least the other half, part of the 6 months, do some house shows at some small towns. It's something fun that all the fans can do. They're not that expensive too. So you do have people who maybe not have the finances to afford to go to St. Louis, Chicago, or wherever the big shows. They can afford to go to their back door essentially and watch some premier wrestling. So I think it's hurting us as fans. I also stated that I think the Netflix deal is also hurting us because over with like Europe, Mexico, all those places, they don't get the commercials. So they get to see the fun interviews with Kathy Kelly and all the wrestlers and all the backstage segments. We don't see that until I go on X and someone from England posts the clip or something like that. So it kind of feel like we're getting the short end of the stick in this deal, essentially, both the house shows and with this Netflix deal. But Big Daddy C, your thoughts?
I do agree. I know I feel like this is the one rare time of the year where they actually did I feel like a European tour leading into Mania. I don't even know the last time they did it prior to this year. But normally the European tour comes like after Mania. Because I remember what was it after WrestleMania 23? That's when Shawn Michaels and Cena had that 1 hour match on Monday Night Raw. Basically took up like the last hour of it. And I think they were in the UK, I think maybe a few weeks during that time. And so I feel like normally they usually don't be overseas for this long before WrestleMania. But I think in terms of like, I get your point. They do. Seems like more recently they have been like going away from doing like the house shows, um, like in the smaller towns throughout the year. I think with them going with this whole global like increase, or increase in global um um trying I can't think of the word, but them being more global nowadays, I feel like that's definitely like had an impact. I remember back in the day, like they've always went to like the smaller towns like Springfield, Peoria, shit, Taylorville, just anything, any small towns like in Illinois or any state really, like they've been willing to go to these smaller towns. Now, once they really grew as a company, obviously the demand is higher, the supply and demand is higher, so you want to go to the bigger arenas, and so I think that also played a part too, um, because you go from these small arenas to like the big arenas, NBA or um, you know, MLB or NFL stadiums, like, or even it's just like, or even soccer stadiums. And so I feel like, just all of that combined is just so many factors that led to them having to like go away from like going to like the smaller towns and the arenas. And so I think, I don't know if it's like them doing it on purpose. I think it's just really a supply and demand type of issue. Not so much just the US versus European, or in Europe, USA or international. I don't think it's simply that. I think it's just because of the fact that supply and demand, you know, I think with them being global and the fact that they want to be at these big arenas and make as much money as they possibly can and as much revenue, I think that's pretty much what's taking over at this point.
Yeah, and see here, I would agree. I would disagree with you actually. I think that this is a direct result of two things. One, TKO obviously buying out the shares of Vince McMahon. When Vince McMahon was in power, you had the house shows because Vince McMahon is an old school booker. For as much
Right.
as forward thinking as people would like to think that he was, in some ways, some aspects, he was an old school booker. A, you would never see any type of advertisement on the ring mat. The ring mat was sacred. B, you would always have a set time for shows. It don't matter what type of show, what type of streaming you were on. There was always a set time for shows, and it always ran the same time. Three, Vince McMahon would fill the card up. Everybody got a payday during the PLEs. If you had any type of match for you going on, you got on the card. You got at least 5 to 10 minutes on the show. D, you are not making these with Vince McMahon, you were going to make every town. And that's a part of old school booking. These are back from the territory days. Guys,
Mhm.
go work the small towns, go work the gyms, go work the smaller arenas, the smaller settings. That's where you work on your craft, get it right, perfect it, then bring it to television. Dark matches, house shows. That's where a lot of guys worked on their stuff. Velocity, Heat,
Mhm.
places like that. WWF Jacked. That's where a lot of these guys worked on their gimmicks. That's where you like I said before guys would debut new stuff. If they wanted to bring in new music, or if they wanted to call guys up from OVW, or they wanted to call guys up from Memphis working with Jerry Lawler. These type of guys, they would get their work on the house shows first before they ever debut television. One time back in history, a little history lesson for you. Lex Luger was not the WWF champion. However, they had him walk out on a live house show with the WWF championship, even though Yokozuna was the champion, just to test the reaction that they would get from him being WWF champion and if the fans would actually react and be excited about it or not. Clearly, they didn't react high enough to change Vince McMahon's mind, but still, you get my drift. House shows were meant to try stuff. House shows were meant to gauge what works and what doesn't work. House shows are meant to get you reps so that you get better in the ring, so that you look crisper on television. House shows is what AEW lacks. Is what ROH was, and then began to like. Once they got their television deal, house shows help so much for the superstars. They need these house shows. Now, I'm not saying they need to do work the towns 4 days a week, and then 3 days at home, and then back to television. You know what I'm saying? But what I am saying is they do need the reps. Now, again, obviously with TKO, when you look at them, it's a profit. They want to make a profit. They're not concerned with honoring time history stuff like Vince McMahon was with WWE. They're more so concerned with making money, making a profit. Their company, their business. Ari Emanuel is all about making money. If it don't make money, it don't make sense to him. And again, it does help with the superstars. It does help freshen them, keep them fresh for longer. It does negate some of the injuries, and it also does offer up big gates. So when you do come to Chicago and it's just a house show, you can stack that card because you're not working the ABC town anymore. Now you can get Cody Rhodes, Gunther. You can get, all the big guys on one Madison Square Garden show, or one Rosemont Horizon show, or one St. Louis show, or one Staples Center show. Like I said, it has its perks, but it also, at the same time, kind of hurts too.
It does, especially since we had the most historical moment from any house show last year. If you remember it, the Rhea Ripley.
Entrance. Oh yeah. A lot of ass was in the ring that night. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And I believe,
and the nicest ass of them all was C's favorite, Nia Jax.
I was going to say Shayna Baszler is also in that match too. There, Verge.
Oh yeah, she was. Yes, she was, and she got a fatty on her.
Pancake booty ass.
I like being tortured.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Fritos, don't you kink shame. No kink shame.
I'm not.
And that flat pancake booty ass chick, man.
She got the hips though. I like the way she rock her hips.
And he also likes her stews.
I do. Another freaking Monday, another freaking stew.
That's crazy. But no, I think honestly, I think another part too is that I think TKO. I feel like TKO has to believe that, like, all right, with all these house shows, they don't really have as much bearings on like main storylines, and so I feel like it's almost like they feel like them having the house shows is kind of like just adding extra, especially for the season veterans in the company. Like I feel like that it's like adding unnecessary like tread to the tires, and so I think TKO might look at it that way as well. Like, why make them work extra? I get trying to like, get them reps and kind of keep them in shape. It's almost like with basketball or something like that. Having those scrimmages during practice, and like staying in shape, so that way you can be ready for the actual game. And so I get it from that standpoint, but like, I don't know. I guess, unless it's like overseas crowds, like overseas shows for our shows, I think they're like, all right, we don't really need to do as many like house shows in the US, like we used to, so I feel like that might have a part, in it too, so.
Sure. Absolutely.
Then here, I say if you're not going to do like the main stars, then maybe let NXT do it. If they're trying to get those guys up and coming,
let's get some NXT.
Why not do an NXT house shows where if you're not going to do, maybe have one or two guys from the main roster come promote the show or something like that. They don't have to wrestle, or maybe if they do something that's 5-10 minutes, maybe a squash match, something that's not going to go heavy on their body, but start getting eyes on the new and up and comers. So that way, someone who's not watching NXT, they see WWE's coming in town, and now they got some eyes on it. Now they know who Trick Williams is, who Jada is.
Oh yeah.
So I'm saying just get more eyes on the NXT. So when they do jump over the ship, they already know it, and it helps get everyone synced up, essentially.
Yeah, what's crazy? You got people that hadn't watched wrestling forever. The only reason they know that wrestling is like popping right now is because of the women that they see on NXT right now. And they see these videos and say, like, damn, when WWE get all these women like this? They weren't like that back in the day. Goddamn right, it wasn't like that back in the day. Because Vince ain't have all these black women running around in the company back in the day. You know, it wasn't like this. The fact that you, man, go to the next topic, man. I'll be all day.
All right. Before she get all hot and bothered, let's move on. All right, guys. So let's talk about something a little bit more gruesome. I'm gonna kick this one over to see John Moxley versus Edge in a street fight for the AEW World Championship this past Wednesday on Dynamite. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I would show the image, but it's so graphic that I will not show it again. It is on our AEW Dynamite review from Wednesday night. You want to go check that one out. It's on there, and the image is on there too. But guys, this stunt has received a lot of hate from all other platforms. What were you guys' thoughts on the Edge Moxley spot with Spike, which was nothing more than like large nails sticking out of a wooden board, and he took it to the
back. Okay.
Pause.
So yeah, that was wild. But no, it's crazy because it's first time we've seen thumbtacks. You know, we've seen people get fall on thumbtacks, face first, you know, back first. Like we've seen this happen, but thumbtacks it's like a little. It ain't nothing different than getting your blood drawn. Really, it's just like a little prick, you know,
a little puncture. Yep.
Just several of them at one time, but you know, still a little prick. But with we talking about nails, like
those aren't regular
several
nails
of them. No, like several of them, like sharp, and ain't no telling if those things been sanitized or not. So like it's a lot. It's a lot you got to think about in that situation there. You know, Mox already sweating and shit, and so now you got the damn nails going in your back. Now you're bleeding, so there's a risk of infection there, and it's just like, what are we doing? And I was thinking about to TNA, like with Abyss when he had Janice, which is pretty much the same thing that Edge got right now, just a different name. And Janice, it had, I don't think it was on. Was it on both sides? No, I think it was maybe on one. The nails were on like one side, but like whenever they would hit somebody, he would hit somebody with Janice. It never stuck in the back. Like it was just like a little soft ass touch, really, to make it. And he made it seem like it was a gruesome hit. But the fact that this wasn't an actual hit with the weapon is just somebody got suplexed on top of it. So like that's the difference. Like we've never seen somebody get suplexed like on top of nails like that. And it was only fitting that Moxley was the one to have to take this spot. Because if anybody knows the early days of Moxley before he ever got to like ROH or whatever indies he was with, he had the whole extreme backyard shit that he was doing. And if you go to YouTube, watch them highlights, it's crazy. You thought ECW was something, it ain't nothing compared to what these people doing back in the backyards. And they not getting paid for it. If they are getting paid for it, it's not even close to what we making in real life in our real life jobs. So, you know, just think about that. And the fact that Moxley, I don't know what his addiction is. Yeah, like what his addiction is with like bleeding. Like it, like no matter what. Like he wasn't he the one that took like the little chopsticks to the forehead?
The skewers from Penta.
The skewers, yes. Like it's always Moxley, the glass. You know, doing the DDT through the glass. I think it was him and Kenny, like the first year or two of AEW, when they had that long rivalry. Like it's always Mox, man, and he got this addiction for like really hardcore esque like spots, like super beyond regular TV like spots. Like And I'm like, how's he getting away with this? And so like, I won't say I don't want to say how is he getting away with this and surviving because he's done it damn near his whole career. But it's just fascinating to like see that like even at his age now, he's still electing to take these bumps to this extent. And this one probably the worst, the craziest he's done. Like we haven't 10 to 12, maybe 15 like nails stuck in his back. And you see Yuta trying to pull him out.
Mm-hmm. It's gruesome.
And then when they actually pulled him out, they had to pan away from it.
Yeah.
Because anybody trying to see blood just pouring out of somebody's back, like
or seeing like actual flesh, like that's gross.
Yeah,
It's gross.
like
it's not wrestling. It's not wrestling. It wasn't.
So I get the
could have done damage to his lungs. Could have done something to his spinal cord too. On top of that,
yeah. So I hope afterwards that he took whatever precautions to make sure there were no infections after that. Even if he got to pour a big ass bucket of alcohol, like or peroxide, something like ain't no way.
We know he dumped whiskey on his back like a man.
Oh God!
Look at Mox.
Speaking of whiskey, but no, but yeah, man, I get the criticism. I get it. You know, obviously we've had ECW, we've had the Attitude Era. You know, we've seen a lot of gruesome shit, but the moments in which those gruesome things happen were like cool, like it wasn't overboard. And so I feel like this one was, you know, a little bit on the lines of overboard. You know, so even with seeing thumbtacks being, you know, people get thumbtacks stuck in their backs, you know, you can survive that. It's more logical for someone to overcome that. Hell, even Legos, you know, getting suplex on it to Legos or some shit like that, you know. But nails, because now we're talking about infections and possibly more issues down the line, you know. So yeah. Those are my thoughts on that.
What'd you think, Fritos?
Yeah, it's completely gruesome. It was unnecessary. But the thing is with Moxley, like you said, he's got that history. So I don't know if it's more of a Tony Khan trusting him to take those spots because he's done it and he might feel like I could take it and be fine with it. But it's also my problem right now with AEW. They're overdoing it with the blood, which like WWE right now, we get blood rarely. And when they do bleed, it means it's a great moment essentially for us to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, occasionally, you know, you might have a nosebleed or someone accidentally cuts their head. It's the name of the game. But we don't have like true hardcore blood matches essentially anymore. Because the last pay-per-view, how many matches had blood in it? I think 3 or 4 really essentially. Was it bloody in AEW, right? Something like that. But
yep.
And then you get all the other crazy moments that are unnecessary too, like the Hangman and Swerve, the needle and the razor in the mouth. All the crazy spots that Darby Allin's taken. You mentioned the Penta. I just feel like AEW is just doing too much to try to get fans back or try to keep fans or something. And that's essentially the problem here. It's
you can make
booking
my bad
of AEW right now and what Tony Khan's doing.
Yeah, like you can make it look believable and still you can make it look gruesome and still make it like believable. Like prime example. What was that? Hell in a Cell, Orton and Jeff Hardy, and he put the damn screwdriver or whatever it was in his ear, his little earlobe, and then like kind of like stretched it out, like shit like that. And like obviously, I don't think it hurt, you know, but he made it look like it hurt. Like Triple H and Batista, WrestleMania. Batista had that stupid ass nose ring, and Triple H had the pliers and basically like yanked the damn, act like he yanked it out, but I'm pretty sure it was like kind of like halfway out. And so like he made it believable. Like they both made it believable. Like you didn't have to like pierce flesh. Like you didn't have to go the blood route. Like you didn't have to do that. Like you can have these gruesome looking moments, but still to make it where no one's like actually physically getting like flesh like destroyed or pierced. Yeah. So AEW they gotta realize at some point like they trying to be like I feel like they trying to be like ECW in some ways, but ECW had their own way of doing it. It was before their time, man. And I feel like in today's era of wrestling, like I feel like wrestling fans aren't willing to see as much of that anymore. Compared to like, especially it's generations. Like no one, I feel like today's generation of fans aren't really trying to see much of that extreme stuff. Like they want to see it in moments, but not like like every week consistently. Like we want to see good ass wrestling, matches that we can look back on.
I appreciate everything y'all saying, but let's call it spade a spade. Check it out. AEW is reaching, and they're reaching because they need viewership. And John Moxley is willing to put his body through. He wants to be the next Mick Foley. It's not going to happen because he has not endeared himself to the fans like Mick Foley, and he does not have the character range of Mick Foley. Mick Foley was able to look like us.
Until he gets thrown off a cage into announce table.
Well, no, because he like, and that's what I hate about that people do that about Mick Foley's career, because the range it took to go from Dude Love, who's obviously in the wrong era, but still considered cool, a cool character, and like almost like a hippie version of Shawn Michaels of that time. And then of course you have the Mankind character who's a deranged psychopath. And then, of course, you have, Fritos. What is going on, brother?
The thing froze up on me. Sorry, I'm going to kick myself out.
You're hilarious, bro.
Sorry, love you. I'll be back.
But there's so many different versions of Mick Foley's career. Dean Ambrose is one guy, and if you don't have blood and gore in his matches, he don't really have anything. He's not a great storyteller like Seth Rollins and like Roman Reigns. He's just not. He's not as talented as them. He is the weak link of the three. And for him to do this stunt, I just thought was proof that he needs to do a stunt like that in order to be a topic of conversation. Whereas you got Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns eating off of the Shield story, and feeding families off of that. So, like I said, to me, it was irritating more than anything. Like you just didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Look, his coach.
Mute it.
You muted Fritos if you're trying to talk.
Sorry. Laptop's being weird. I gotta switch back to the phone. Damn technology. Why is it not switching? Nope. You don't want to see my wall. Screw it. I'm just gonna go old school and hold it. All right, we're good. We still going, guys?
Yep.
Oh yeah, we still going. You're hilarious. Yes, no, the pod is still going on. All right. So last topic for the day, guys. Friday night, above everything else, and this is our main topic, main event for the night. We have to talk about the fact that Charlotte Flair cooked Tiffany Stratton in their promo battle. It was filthy. It was disgusting.
Lord,
Tiffany Stratton looked so out of sorts. Charlotte, I had the pleasure of standing in place of Fritos and doing this week's SmackDown, low down, hold down, roll down, bow down, toe down, no down, fold down, woe down, woe down.
Thank you again.
No problem. And I literally went through and read the promo battle and listed 10 different times that Charlotte Flair cooked the hell out of Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was so cooked, she was well done by the time that woman got done with her. It was ugly. Can Tiffany Stratton recover from this, guys? Fritos, we go to you first. You're the resident SmackDown aficionado.
I don't know. The thing is, I'm gonna also bring it back to Monday night with John Cena's promo. He went off, and then when Cody came out, did you notice how Cena did not get a word out, and then they went straight to Cody's music, and they protected Cody. Here, the company did protect Cody. In this situation, they did not protect Tiffany. So, to me, that means the company's ready to give the title back to Charlotte. So I'm seeing, sadly, Charlotte winning and taking the title off of Tiffany. So, I mean, they still have, what, like we said, 3 weeks to maybe do something to get momentum back to Tiffany Stratton. But after this, and after seeing what they did for Cody, yeah, I don't really see anything really right now to help Tiffany's situation to keep the title.
Yeah, I watched the whole promo and I was just like, bro, like, yo, like, it's very rare you see a heel cook a face in the promo, especially like a side to side interview. Um, man, I don't know, like it. I feel like I don't know what it is with Tiffany. Like, she's her heel run, like, and like just her promos during her heel run, like we've gotten so used to. Like, I feel like her promos as a heel like work better than promos as a face. Like, and I feel like that transition, she's having a tough time having that transition to making like trying to cook somebody as a face, instead of doing it as a heel. And so I think that's the issue there. So I feel like, it's gonna take some growth on her part. Because, it's one thing to be champion, but you gotta make sure you can talk the talk, and so I feel like she hasn't been able to do that well. I think she can get better. I think working it's good that she has Trish to lean on. And so I feel like if she can learn from Trish on, how to get better with her promos as a face, I think she'll get better. I think is just with Charlotte, Charlotte is she in the upper echelon of women's wrestling, so there's a lot of pressure there, I'm sure. So and Charlotte has been in Tiffany's shoes when it comes to, being the up and comer trying to get to that, get to the top of the mountain. And so I think with Tiffany, she'll be better in due time. I think she just got to lean on some of the legends, and get better at it. Hell, practice at the crib.
You're
uh,
practice. Well,
yeah,
no, see, to that extent, one thing that I said is if I'm Tiffany Stratton after that interview, I'm immediately going to Triple H. And I'm saying there's no way that you can allow this to happen to your champion for me to get embarrassed like this. I get it, she's
yeah.
Charlotte Flair, but next week I need 10 minutes uninterrupted. And then I'm going immediately to CM Punk. I'm immediately going to Paul Heyman. And I'm writing something, and I'm going to ether the
Yeah,
fuck out of her ass. I'm
yeah.
going to go
Scorch.
mention
She
that
got
she's a hoe.
yeah.
I'm
Scorched
gonna go
earth.
mention how she's a hoe and she can't keep her legs closed. How she can't keep a man happy. How like I'm gonna mention something to like ether her. Like I gotta cook her back.
Mhm.
You gotta hit the jugular because legit she just tried. You can't go with the plastic thing because basically Charlotte's whole point was you're a carbon copy of me and you can't even do me better than I do me. You know.
Mhm.
So like I said, like you're blonde, fake boobs, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So you got all this work done just like I have, all this other stuff, and you can't wrestle better than me. So
I'll tell you what'd be fucked up though. And old attitude era, they probably go this route, but I don't know if they're gonna do it today because it's too much of a touchy subject. If she went like full on scorched earth and brought up the ex husband or ex fiance that she was with, the dude that was like I guess beating on her or whatever, like if she brought up anything related to that would be crazy. Like if it was something like that, I don't know. They're not gonna do it because obviously they ain't trying to lose no fans, you know. So but that would be crazy. Like she gotta get personal. That's what I'm trying to say. Like she gotta get real personal, like you just said, Mike. Like she gotta like, hey, you got a whole roster of dudes that have been ran through, like you ran through a whole roster of guys throughout this company, and they left, came back, yeah, and you know, clearly, you know, they not with you no more. So there's been some issues there. But yeah, there's ways she can go about it. You know, she can go the whole, you know, the only reason you got all these championships and opportunities because you Ric Flair's daughter. You can like go do anything. Like hell, she want to bring up the brother. You know, I know they did that in the past. They brought up the dead brother. I think it was one of the few she had, and somebody brought up the dead brother in the promo, like this, like, but that's more heelish tendencies right there. So I don't know if she's gonna do that. But she got to get personal. She got to get, like you said, 10 minutes uninterrupted.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
You know, here's the kicker. You have to do it in a way where Tiffany is still a baby face.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to go too far off the rails. Yeah.
I wouldn't mention the brother. What I would mention though is how Charlotte Flair, you know, I mean, you don't want to go to route where you've been coddled and you've been given a position and all of this stuff. You can't say that. But because
it's too many people, so many second and third generation superstars that have been in that have been given.
Well, and not only that, but at the same time, Tiffany's the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, so I mean, like, so you know, I mean, I don't know, but you, like I said, she has to find a way to eat there. Okay, last thoughts on this, Fritos. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Give her 10 minutes. See what she could cook up. Like you said, see if she could reach out to Paul Heyman. If not, go for the guy who can roast anyone, CM Punk, and see what you can do to at least regain that momentum. Because after this, like I said, the company did protect Cody. They did not protect Tiffany. So to me, it looks more like they are switching the title over to Charlotte.
Yeah. So essentially, what we're all agreeing upon is she got to have a July 2011 moment, pipe bomb moment. She got to have one of those. Just out of the blue, have a scorched earth moment. And because I don't know how long that promo was, that pipe bomb promo. I think maybe like 8 minutes or so before they turned the mic off. Like she gotta have one of those to where they gotta cut the mic off. She gotta have one of them. Like just go crazy, like uninterrupted. And like you said, go to Punk. Because what better person to do it? Punk, Paul Heyman. Yo, Triple H, shit. Triple H, he one of the best at promos. Like, hell, if she wants to, go to Cena. You know, like
agreed.
She got too many legends to lean on, man, to not be able to cook somebody in the promo. If she gonna hold that championship long enough. She got to be able to cook somebody on the promo, because we've seen people get that strap taken off of them because they have not sold themselves well as a champion. So
quick, fast, and hurry.
Exactly. So she better get on it, because Triple H take that strap off real quick.
And now, folks, it's time for us to get on our favorite segment of the night. That's right. It's time for Fritos Fave 5.
Fritos Favorite 5. Sponsored by nobody.
Yet. Virgil, will you kindly hit my music?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God, I love it. I do have one honorable mention. My honorable mention is that kid that John Cena picked out in that crowd. He had a big WWE moment. You know that next day there's 2 routes. One, he's the coolest kid at the schoolyard. Honeys are passing him notes. and he's getting snack packs and everyone loves him. Or 2, that roast by John.
Fritos, your voice is cutting out like crazy, man.
Now,
Yeah, it's just like cutting out. You know, it's like between each word, it's like cutting out slightly.
God. Hang on. The kid that John Cena picked out in the crowd. Number 5, I've got Drew McIntyre. He didn't win, but it's what he did afterwards. Laying down beating the living shit out of Damian Priest and cutting a decent promo while beating him. Saying, you're the reason why I keep losing, and just going at it. So we do have the future matchup in WrestleMania between those two. I thought Drew really cooked him and while beating the crap out of him. At number 4, I've got Randy Orton's promo opening up Friday Night SmackDown. The voices are talking to him, and he is looking for blood against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. At number 3, I've got Charlotte Flair roasting the living shit out of Tiffany Stratton. That girl is crispy. She is deep fried, triple fried, whatever you want to say it. At number 2, I got CM Punk. Between this triple threat, I thought Punk roasted everyone better than anyone else. And throwing a little wrench in with Paul Heyman and having Roman question anything. It's definitely going to lead up to some future storylines. Is Heyman going to go back to CM Punk? Is Roman going to kick Heyman out now? Yeah, you know who number 1 is. Calm down. Then at number 1, I've got Virgil's boy, John Cena, with his promo. The reason why he crashed out is because of guys like Virgil buying his merchandise and kissing his ass, not being there, supporting him. How dare you not be there and support him when he needed to be? You're the reason why he's like this now. And that has been a Fritos Fave 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, see, what would you give it?
I saw nothing wrong with it, so I give it an A+.
I give it an F, and I'll tell you why. Because Rhea Bloody Ripley is who I was pointing to should be number 1. Rhea Ripley should be number 1. That's right. She pulled the old she pulled the old Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris Benoit trick, and she took out both of the opponents as they signed the WrestleMania contract and signed her name to it. That's right. Rhea Bloody Ripley coming for that Women's World Championship, even though she's not going to win it. Bianca Belair is. But still, I thought that was a highlight moment, and you missed it.
Whatever. I gave your boy the number 1 spot, and this is how you treat me? No,
I'm glad. That's a shocker.
It's your fault.
Shocker.
It's your fault, Virgil. Not mine.
I went out and bought
because he
Rhea
knew I was a
Ripley
hater.
shirt.
It's your fault. And that kid's fault, too.
Don't you blame the kids for this. Don't you put that on the kids, Ricky Bobby.
I am. I'm going to put it on all the kids, and especially that one kid he called out. How dare he rep all his merch?
Good Lord. All right, folks, this has been your episode of the We Book It Podcast Sunday Night Show. Tomorrow night, Coach, I think, and Big Daddy C, I think, will be back with you for a Raw review. Obviously, we'll have the AEW review come out as well as the SmackDown Low Down, Hold Down, Throw Down, Mow Down, Toe Down, Woe Down review this coming Friday. Stay tuned. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate all of you. Until next time, from Big Daddy C, Fritos, and Virgil, and everybody here on the We Book It Network. Peace.